Chào mừng quý vị quay trở lại với chương trình Tôi và Việt Nam trên kênh truyền hình FBNC với những chia sẻ của ông Eric Hamilton, là hiệu trưởng của trường quốc tế Thành phố Hồ Chí Minh, phân hiệu American Academy. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So to achieve academic excellence, I understand that the teachers are very important. They must be inspiring. How do you create such quality for the teachers at your school here in Ho Chi Minh City?
One of the most important things about my job is finding the right people for the job. We use several global job searches to find the best candidates that have good experience, especially with the American style. Most of our teachers are, about 80% of them are U.S. citizens. And once they get here, it's important to develop them. So we have a full week-long orientation of the expectations that we have and how we run the school and what our philosophy is. So they understand coming in what we're looking for, and then we develop them. So there's a lot of professional development that goes on throughout the year. We send them to the States. For example, the adjunct instructors will go to Syracuse, and they learn how to develop the curriculum for the Syracuse University program. It's really important for us in that we're an accredited school. And so when you're an accredited school, you have higher standards that you need to meet. And the accreditors will come and visit to make sure that we have qualified teachers, that they are strong and they know what they're doing. Which is exactly what we need. We need high quality teachers.
How attractive is the Vietnam's education market for the overseas teachers? I mean, what are some of the questions and concerns they usually have when you talk to them and invite them to come back here to teach?
Right, yeah. I think from the U.S. perspective, some people are a little concerned about coming to Vietnam thinking that they may not be welcome. So that's one of the questions that I get.
Okay.
And my experience has been, and this is what I expressed to them, is that I've felt welcome the entire time I've been here since the day I landed. So I try to set them at ease, but there is a little bit of fear that they have to begin with. But then when they get here, they just, all of them without fail, fall in love with the Vietnamese people, the culture, and the city.
Good to know. So as you mentioned before, the last question, technology developments changes everything. And I read a recent article on New York Times talking about Harvard as moving to online education for some of its programs. So how do you think online education will affect any strategy for your school here in Vietnam?
I think it's really important to extend the learning, because the learning is no longer from 8 until 3. We want students to be lifelong learners, so they should be constantly learning. And we have a platform as well, similar to some of the schools that you see in the States that have online learning, where students can do their work and submit it through an online portal that we have. And that's been very, very effective in getting students to continue thinking and critically thinking and reading throughout the day, throughout the weekend. We want them to have balance, but we also want them that if they're very focused and interested about something, they should continue that learning. It's a very exciting time to be in education because of all the technology. It's fascinating to bring in, for example, we had a NASA astronaut come to our school, and he talked about the technology changes. We're going to allow our students to eventually become travelers to Mars. The technology is quickly, it's changing that rapidly that our seniors in 20 years would be candidates to become an astronaut. So it was really exciting to see him and to talk about the technology.
In Vietnam?
Yes. He came to the school, and it was an amazing experience.
So what kind of guests that you can invite to come here in Vietnam? I mean, the guests that you had experienced before in America? And
through my school at the Aerospace Academy, I had several connections with astronauts, and bringing him here to speak at our graduation was extremely motivational for our kids and our parents. And I'll continue to bring other guest speakers from the U.S., engineers, technology, people who are on the forefront, because that's really we want our students to aspire to.
That's exciting. You've been teaching in America, in other countries as well. Any education practice that impressed you the most, or any challenging that you still have to face nowadays?
Yeah, I think it's really I guess if I were to look at all of the places I've been from South America and the US and Southeast Asia, the best that I've seen is really student-centered and project-based. So real authentic work that kids are doing, not just memorizing the history dates, but actually applying that into solving the problems, using their knowledge of history in order to not repeat the same mistakes of the past. And I just think, having an authentic learning experience is the most important and most engaging for kids.
For the student-centered philosophy they've been practicing around the world, how do you make sure that you put the student in the center, but you also make sure that the improvement or the effectiveness of their study are being well represented in school?
Yeah, and when I say student-centered, I don't mean student-run. The teachers run the classroom.
Because a lot of people might criticize, you put the student in the center, and then if they don't show up and they don't study well,
they don't learn, So it's not student-run. The teachers have the standards that they need to make sure that the students understand. So they will develop these projects that will allow the students to run with it, and they have minimum expectations, and then they can also go further if they want to, if that's their strength area. But there's a minimum expectation of all students, and then we push them and prod them to go even further.
So teachers still take the flag.
Yeah. Yes.
And so how do you foster creativity and problem-solving skills in classroom?
Yeah, I think it's really important. The students have to have an outlet for creativity. So we also offer not just the core academics, but also elective classes. So students can explore music and art and drama and theater and performances. Because that's really the creativity. The research states that as you increase your creativity outside the classroom, that increases your intelligence in the classroom. So we really want to use all aspects of the brain to be able to foster that creativity and innovation.
So what do you think is the biggest trend right now is happening in high school education system around the world?
Yeah, I think it's technology. It's technology in the 21st century learning skills. So, and it's not just about technology, but 21st century learning means you have to be able to collaborate, work together as a team. You have to be able to communicate effectively, be creative. Those are all the things that need to happen in order for us to have a world to live in. So
what do you like most about working in Vietnam?
The thing I love most is the kids, definitely. The kids they're wonderful. They're like sponges. They're sponges for knowledge. The other thing I like is my wife and I bought a scooter. So we like to drive around town in the scooter, and we go do some shopping and have a lunch.
That's quite an experience
It
for
is.
you.
It is.
Well, thank you for sharing. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thưa quý vị, vừa rồi là những chia sẻ của ông Eric Harmington, là hiệu trưởng của trường quốc tế Thành phố Hồ Chí Minh, phân hiệu American Academy. Quý vị có thể xem lại chương trình trên trang web của kênh FBNC tại địa chỉ fbnc.vn. Thân ái chào tạm biệt và hẹn gặp lại quý vị trong những chương trình kỳ sau. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.